Holla. Sometimes I just can't stop. Holla.
Thank you for watching Rolynn's Reviews. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
Sometimes I just can't stop. Holla. Sometimes I just can't stop. Holla.
Thank you for watching Rolynn's Reviews. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
Sometimes I just can't stop. Holla. Sometimes I just can't stop. Holla.
Well. Welcome to the Rolynn's Reviews YouTube channel again. I would like for you all to welcome our esteemed guest, Miss Vickie Council. So every time let's everyone say hello to Vickie. Every time that we talk about educational topics, you guys just can't seem to get enough. So why not bring in the experts? We've talked about some of the various issues that we're dealing with in American education. So I'm going to have Miss Council to speak with you. You guys type your questions like you normally do in the comment section. Miss Council, we have a former student here. Daniel McKinley is saying hello to you.
Hi, Daniel.
Okay. So without further ado, I will hush. And Miss Council is going to tell you about herself and her educational career. And I have a few questions to ask her, and then you guys type your questions in the comment section like you always do. It's your show.
Well, konnichiwa. Hi, I'm here in Okinawa, Japan currently, and it is 5 a.m. Monday morning here. So I got up pretty early for my girl, Lynn. My name is Vickie Council. I've been teaching over 20 years. Lynn and I met back at Overhills High School, where I taught for 10 years. I moved from Overhills High School, moved to Atlanta, and then I got a job at in Okinawa, Japan, where I have been. It will be 7 years in September. So I've been teaching family consumer science, and that's where I started it, and at Overhills, and that's where I'm currently teaching now here in Okinawa.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Council. What are some differences that you would like to talk about so far as your teaching experience here in America, say, as opposed to teaching in Okinawa, Japan?
Well, for me, the difference is I don't find too many differences as opposed to teaching, because teaching is you master what your degree is in. So wherever you go, you're teaching that material. That's what they hired you for. So I just kind of want to explain, just because I'm in Okinawa, Japan, I'm still teaching on a United States base. So
Right.
I'm still teaching American kids. So it's the same kids that would be in America, but it's just on a military base.
Right.
So I am still teaching the same thing that I would teach at home. But some of the difference that I would say is I have the opportunity to teach in my field what I desire to teach. Say, for instance, I have 13 different objectives. In the States, you had to follow all of the plans to teach all of those objectives. Over here, I get to choose if I want to stay on one unit as far as sewing or cooking. If I desire to stay longer on those units, I can.
Okay.
So that's some of the difference, that they allow you to kind of be more free and more open to teach over here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you have a post assessment for your courses there or no?
There are no
Oh,
post assessments
wow.
here. We don't do any end of the year testing, and I know that's one of the things that is very stressful for the teachers, for the
Right.
students. You want to make sure that you taught your best for the year, and that the students has grasped all that information. But as far as here, we don't have that worry, we don't have that stress. We just teach throughout the year, and when we're done, we're done.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, in the high school, they do have of course, their midterm and their final exam. But as far as state exams,
Right.
I haven't had that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, that's good to know. And I've often said, and you know this, Miss Council, um, why do they even administer CTE post assessments? They do not factor into the school's report card grade. That's crazy.
right. I don't know if that's more of a factor just to see if the teachers have done their job to make sure the students have that. But as we know, a lot of students don't do well with testing.
Mhm.
So you could have done your job, and still those students they still don't grasp that at the end of the year. And you
Right,
got to you got to admit that's a lot of information from the beginning of the school year to the end to try to get all that information into a
right.
test. Try to remember all of that stuff. That's just very stressful.
Excellent point, Miss Council. And you're CTE, I'm CTE. Let's keep it real. It's about we teach the students tasks. So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
you taking a 100 question multiple choice test at the end of the semester. Let's be real. That's rote memorization. That is not learning. It's
Right. And so I can say this, one of the things over here in Japan, the main thing that they really want to teach their students is more life skills.
oh wow,
Because what they do is they want to make sure they're prepared when they graduate. So when they come of age, they are gone. They release them and they are considered adults. They have to know what they need to do to survive in life. So they focus more on life skills, which is really home economics. Because what I teach
oh
is,
yeah,
what we called it back in the day was home economics. The
home
name has
economics.
changed to clean living, to family consumer science. It doesn't matter what the name changes, it's still the same. Home economics. It's
Yes,
preparing you for life. And I tell my students, what I'm teaching you, you can take with you.
wow.
Hmm.
So that's good to know. I will say, I would like for you to tell us each course that you teach because I didn't realize that the family consumer science curriculum has changed so much. Because
Right.
remember, I told you I was offered a job at Wake County, even Guilford County offered me a job, and one of the courses was mental health. I'm like, mental health? When did they add that? So tell us what you teach and what you teach in your classes.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned mental health because one of my favorite units is my opening, and it's really focusing on personal development, your
Okay.
self-esteem, your self-concept. And that is one of my favorite units because what I want to do is to build the students up. I want them to know the first thing to realize is you got to know yourself. You got to know yourself. You got to love yourself
Right.
before anybody else can tell you anything. If you know how you feel about yourself, nobody can tell you anything. So I really, really dive in on personal development, on self-esteem, on self-concept. What are you telling yourself? What are you feeding to yourself? That's one of the biggest things. I also teach sewing. I teach um, foods. I teach housing, budget. Like I teach things for life. I about housing. So everything that I prepare my students for, they're gonna take it with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I still, next time I have you on the show, do you remember that Christmas stocking that you made for me and the little pocket? Guys, she's an excellent seamstress and sewer. And you made me that, it's about that big. And it had letter to Santa. Every Christmas, I hang that up over my
Oh
fireplace.
wow.
You gave that to me over 20 years ago, and I still
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we worked together we worked together 10 years
Yep.
together at Overhill.
Yep.
So we have a history. Yeah,
We
we have
do.
a history. Yeah.
Guys just coming in, this is Miss Vickie Council. She teaches in Okinawa, Japan. Everyone say hello. We're so glad that she took time out of her busy
Hi,
schedule to
everyone.
drop in and say hello. She's speaking to all of you. Um, Miss Council, we've been talking about some of the issues that our students face. What's one of the greatest issues or obstacles that you deal with there in Japan on base?
Speaking the language.
Whoa.
Or not even on base, but just in the culture, being amongst, because I don't live on base, I live amongst the Japanese culture. So my house, I have my neighbors on each side of me and in front of me. I live amongst them. So the hardest thing for me is the culture, because I think that's one of the first questions I get. Can you speak Japanese? No, I cannot. I do know the basic hello, welcome,
Right,
excuse me, just the things that
right.
need to know. But as far as, I think that's the biggest challenge, being able to speak the language and being able to interact. But what I found is Google Translation is a good thing to have. And then many of the places know that Americans are here, so they do have Americans, those that can speak American,
Right.
or try to help us in the things that we need over here. So that would probably, I would say, is the biggest challenge for
Okay.
me. Yeah,
But everyone's been welcoming to you.
right. They
Um,
are very welcoming. This is probably one of the safest places to be. A lot of Americans come here and don't want to leave because you
whoa,
have children walking to school as early as, I mean, as young as 5 years old. They will walk to school because the schools are local in the neighborhood, or they will get
right.
on the bus or wherever they need to be. They are free, they are safe, and they don't have those concerns about the safety of their children.
Wow. Rhonda Morrison said, lack of autonomy is one of the chief complaints of teachers right now. And we know we all have a curriculum we have to adhere to. So,
Right.
those of you just coming in, Ms. Council mentioned that she doesn't quite have the constraints there
Yeah.
that she did here. When you don't have the high stakes test, you're able to, get outside the box a little
Right.
bit. So that is a good point. Rhonda Morrison also said, with suicide at an all-time high, teaching mental health and the science of happiness is a great idea. So is
Yeah.
that a complete course, or is that an objective that you teach
It's
them?
an objective. It's a personal develop objective. And another objective that I teach, that kind of goes into that same objectives, are roadblocks. And not the game Roblox, because every time I say it, the kids get really hype about this game.
Yeah,
But what roadblocks do our children face? Our children, and I try to tell them, they are just as important as anyone else. They have a voice, and they should be able to speak how they feel.
right.
And roadblocks, they encounter roadblocks all the time, which affects their mental, thought frame. And it has to do with our divorce, parents divorcing. It could be death of a family member. It
Yeah.
could be the changing of the schools, because in the military family, they leave every 3 to 5 years,
Oh yeah.
and those children have to find new friends or adapt to
Right.
whatever situation they are. So I really, really keen in on those children, and I make a rapport with those children to let them know they're free to speak, they're free to open up. If they need to talk, please feel free to talk. I do a lot of activities that have to do with mental health, about how they're feeling. I love, love, love. I love playing jazz music as they work, just something in the background. So it's just like, especially when they're doing their independent work, that it's just not just silence. And I do games with them with happy music to kind of boost their self-esteem. And it's just not just an ordinary classroom where they come in and do the work, you get it done, you turn it in, and you're gone. Well, I have a lot of interaction in the classroom.
You remember, Miss Council, and I'm still playing my jazz music
Yeah,
every day in my classroom, because I'm like you, I don't like the dead silence.
yeah,
Um, and students hate it, but when they get older and they reach back out to you, guess what? Now I'm listening to jazz music, and I'm like,
right.
Don't talk to me. When I played with my classroom every day, you hated it. Excuse me.
Right.
So,
Yeah, especially we gotta be careful what we play anyway. So,
right.
instrumental jazz, anything in the
No worries.
background. So, I don't want to jeopardize anything with playing something. They want you to play their music, but
Too many curse words. I told them I need to retire in a few years, and I can't do that playing your music. So
right,
play my
right,
jazz,
right,
no words, no trouble.
right. Yeah.
Um, so let's see. Oh, they're asking me questions here. So Lady Libra says, we need more great teachers such as yourself. God's continued blessings to you and your family. All right,
Thank
Lady Libra.
you. Thank you. Yes,
Um,
and that is one thing. I keep God first in everything that I do.
yes.
Everything that I do, because I tell myself I'm originally from the Bronx, New York, moving to a small town in Bun Level, North Carolina. From Bun Level, North Carolina. If anybody know about Bun Level, is welcome to and goodbye.
Huh.
And now to be exploring Okinawa, Japan, and have gone to several different countries, I would have never imagined that. And that's one thing I want to tell people: don't get stuck in one place if you don't have to. If you can move about, if you have the opportunity to go,
Right.
do that.
Oh my God, those words are powerful. Patrick Faulkner, who's also a teacher, I think he's in Wake County. Drop in the comment section, Patrick, if you're still in Wake County. He says, "How can we find out more about teaching overseas?" That's an excellent question.
Yeah, and they are. It is quicker to get a job overseas than it is in America. It's the Department of Education. Look for DODEA, DODEA. Google that and do an application. I would have never imagined being over here. And one of my friends is actually online. Her name is Crystal Matthews. She is the one that got me started because,
Wow.
as you know, I worked at Overhills. Well, you may not know, but I worked at Overhills for 10 years. And we know North Carolina was one of the lowest paid states for teachers.
Oh yeah.
And when I was there, I made it just about a couple of days before they were going to stop master pay. You remember that?
Yes, I remember the
If you didn't
budget.
have your master pay, your master's degree in by a certain date, they were no longer paying teachers for your master's.
I
And
remember.
I made it in just in time.
Right.
And I was tired. I was fed up. We do all this work and then they don't want to pay you anything. So I was fed up. I moved to Atlanta. A friend of mine, he was assistant principal in Atlanta. He was like,
Yeah.
"Come on, you could do it," And I was in that comfort zone. I was comfortable, and I was scared, and I didn't want to move. And I finally stated I was tired, and I took the job in Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta, and I did the application with my friend too because she didn't want me to leave North Carolina. And
None
she was
of us
like, well,
did.
you can make this amount of money. Would you stay? And I was like, yes, of course. So I did the application for DODEA. I did applications in Atlanta. Just so happened I got hired in Atlanta and I moved to Atlanta. I got a U-Haul, packed my girls up, and we were out.
I remember.
I know for a fact that God prepared me for this job here because I don't think I would have moved from Bun Level, North Carolina to Okinawa, Japan.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, step out and take your chance. All you won't know unless you try. So from Atlanta to Okinawa in 1 year of moving.
I remember that because I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I wish I was that fearless. So, and those are some strong, powerful words. And who knows who needs to hear that? That may motivate someone else to get outside of their comfort zone.
Right.
And let me see. Patrick says, which jazz music do you all recommend? Now, I listen to Dr. Sax every morning. I listen to that.
You know what? I listen to Dr. Sax as well, but I just kind of just actually I Google like it's like a jazz coffee tea type music. I just Google it in, long as it's instrumental, and sometimes I will put in different artists as instrumental.
Right.
That can play, the same beat, but there's just an instrumental, and the kids really enjoy it. So I just kind of just Google in just some nice soft jazz.
Okay, so they're asking questions. So I got some other teachers in the chat gonna start playing some jazz music. But Dr. Sax is my favorite, but Lofi is good too. I
Yes,
listen to Lofi every.
yes,
Oh,
yes. Lofi is good as well because you don't have that worry about, again. You still got to be careful. You got to be careful with what you're playing with with the students and stuff. So Lofi is a good safe site. Yeah.
words. Let me see what else. Crystal Matthews is speaking to you. So,
That's the one that got me on. And now she's over here now. She's teaching over
whoa!
here now. Yeah. She's teaching here now. And she's actually here teaching, and she's the virtual teacher.
Oh
So she
wow!
doesn't even go into the classroom. She's virtually teaching overseas.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, that's excellent. Okay. Daniel says, is Japanese education different from ours?
Well, a lot of the Americans that come over here, they actually, because you have to pay to be in Dodia schools. It's not a free school to go in, and it's very expensive for some people. So the Americans choose to take their kids out of the American schools and put them
Right.
in Japanese school because they teach them everything. Again, they prepare them for life. It's
Wow.
not just a book thing, it's preparing them for life. What are they going to do once they're out of their family's home? And I think a lot of us as American, and I can testify, I have 3 children that have left the home. And I know I kind of hovered over them and
Right.
I wanted to do so much for them. And I can just speak on my daughter, Tootie. I think I hovered over her so much that when she got out, she even told me, "You did everything for us. So when it was time for me to do it, it was hard for me to do it."
Right.
And that was like a wake up call. And
Right.
I think the Japanese culture prepared their kids to
Better.
be out on their own. Like I said, they do life skills. They prepare them for life. So when they coming of age is what they call it. When they come of age, they expect them to be able
Right.
to leave the nest and do what they have to do.
Oh, that's an excellent point. Also, Rhonda Morrison said, will you get credit towards your North Carolina state retirement teaching in Japan? And that's very important.
Hey, Rhonda. So when I left North Carolina, I had taught long enough to have my retirement.
So
So
you've been
I actually have my retirement plan in North Carolina. And
oh,
when I retire from the Department of Defense, I will have my retirement from the Department of Defense as well.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Because when you come, like I was teaching over 10 years there, and I think I had 15 years when I left. So, but when you move from a state into Dodia, they would only give you 10 years of your teaching credits.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what people are trying to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lola said, what time is it there?
It's 5:22, Lola. I got work shortly. I got to be at work at 7. So it's Monday morning and it's 5:22 a.m. right now.
Woo, we got
And
to
I think y'all time just change? Because
It
normally
just
I'm up.
changed.
Yes. Because normally I'm up with you on your site like 6 o'clock and I'm good. But
Excellent.
I had to sacrifice.
That's everyone in the chat section. Let's thank Miss Council for being such an excellent supporter of the Rolynn Reviews YouTube channel. We're okay. Oh, Rock has a good question. And guys, go ahead, folks. Please hit that like button. If you're new here, like Miss Krista Matthews, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're always glad to have you.
Share. She has some great topics.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Council. Rock Just Living. Are American kids learning and speaking the Japanese language more fluent? That's a good question.
Yes, they are, because like I said, they pull them out of the DIA school and they put them in the Japanese schools. So
Okay.
they teach them Japanese language, and those students come out. Yeah, the students over here actually teaching their parents the language, or
Whoa.
they may be able to translate in different, like when they go out to the stores or have to ask questions or need something, their kids are translating for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So with you teaching the FACS family consumer science curriculum, I think I heard where they were, aren't they, what was that, personal finance? Was that the course that we've been hearing about for years, that that they were going to add so that, well, of course, people don't really write checks anymore, except if people in their 70s and 80s. But
Right.
showing them how to balance their account. So you're teaching that as well?
I teach anything dealing with budget, and I still teach them about checks because checks are still
They're still
people
here.
still have their checks. But I teach them more about being safe with their credit cards and how to make sure that they're not just out here just grabbing credit cards and using them. More so, I would say you need a credit card. You would need a credit card for such thing as renting a car
Right.
or going to such thing as the airport or something like that. But I tell them, make sure, especially with college, when you go to college, they want to give all these kids all these different credit
Oh,
cards
man.
to be
Yeah.
safe. So I do talk about budgeting. Personal finance actually was started. We did have a personal finance class at Overhills.
I remember that. Miss
Yeah,
Vickie
because
taught.
Miss Mitchell actually
Yep.
was teaching that. So it was introduced at Overhills. And I think that is one of the best courses they can have for our students.
Oh, and that's an excellent point. I actually remember when Miss Mitchell taught that. Patrick says his question is, what do you teach? I guess he wants to know all the courses that you teach.
Oh, well, they call it family and consumer science, but if you look, I'm turning 53 this year. So it was home economics. It's the same thing from back in the day. It's home economics, it's sewing, it's cooking, it's budgeting, it's housing, it's personal development. So all those things that prepare you for life is what I teach.
Wow. And much needed. Lady Libra said, thank you so much for all that you do. Rhonda Morrison said, young brains pick up languages easier than older ones. Facts.
And Japanese language is one of the hardest language to learn.
I've heard that.
Yeah. It's a hard language to learn. And I haven't even attempted. I'm not even going to perpetrate. I have not attempted to learn it.
Learn the basics
on the things that I need.
Oh, well, I don't blame you. Just the basics that you need to survive. Yeah. Rhonda said, teach them about starting businesses too. Okay.
Yes, I like that idea because I've actually had a couple of businesses myself, and I just actually picked up a new one with traveling. So yes, that is a great idea because that's one of the things you can always take with you. That's something that you can always have, and it's best to start it younger, right now, sooner than later. I think that's a great idea.
Sounds good. Patrick said he asks, what age would you suggest students learn Japanese? Okay.
As far as the culture, as soon as if they're moving to a foreign country, I say as soon as they get there. I say take the classes because they do offer classes, especially for like on base. They do have classes that they will teach you the culture or the language over here. So as soon as they can, I would recommend. Yeah.
Okay. And I know we got to let you go in a couple of minutes because I know you got to get to work. You got to make that bag for the day. I guess what I wanted to know is, tell us about some of the teaching methods that you use in your classroom.
Ooh. For me, one of the things I want to make sure that I have is that my students understand that classroom management is one of the biggest things for me.
Right.
They come in, they have a procedure, they know what to do when they come in, and I don't have to really tell them, like, because I have started something with the classroom management that they come in. I have things such as we have binders in our classroom. They come in, they check the board, they write down what we're going to be doing for the class. Here's your assignment, put it in your agenda so that your parents can keep up with what we're doing. Get your binders out. They have bell warmers that get them started for the class so that when they're doing their bell warmer, and it could be such as a journal, we could be a topic that we're discussing that I have. They come in, they write their journal as I'm doing my attendance, and then we get into the meat of things. So whatever our topic is about, and then after I do what I need to do as far as preparing them, I give them that independent work so that they prepare for their assignments and their tests that they may have on that objective. Because with sewing and cooking, they have to have a certain percentage to move to the next part, as you can say. because it's very important that they master some of the things as far as cooking and so on, because that's just not something you could just dive into.
Right. And you'll be glad to know I'm also in the facts area. Of course, a new course that I'm teaching, you're going to love. I now teach honors food science technology.
Oh, good.
Whoop whoop. So
Yeah.
I'm in facts with you. So you'll be glad to. I knew you'd like that.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna let Miss Council go. We want to make sure she has time to get to work on time. Thanks everyone for coming in. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this content out.
Yes.
And this isn't the last time that Miss Council will visit with us. Okay. You know how we do. When we bring people on and everyone loves it, everyone's banging on the table, we want more. So Miss Council will be back. Don't worry.
Yes.
Okay.
There's one other thing I want to state
Go
as
ahead.
far as I know one of the questions you had for me earlier was about discipline. I
Yes.
do want to say, that's one of the biggest challenge that our teachers have as far as discipline goes. The
Yes.
good thing about being over here and overseas, they're in jeopardy of being moved off the island if their children misbehave.
Oh, wow.
So now, not to say they don't,
Right.
but we do have something to help us as teachers to say, if you misbehave, there is a possibility of you being moved off the island. So that kind of helps us with our job, that we don't have to focus so much on behavior and that we can do more on teaching.
Can I come?
Yeah. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Everyone is just saying in the content, I'm reading the comments, and everyone's just saying it's wonderful content. They've enjoyed it. So tell in the comment section, guys. Chef, my partner Chef said strong women. All right, thank you, partner. You guys want Miss Council to come back? Type it in the comment section. We're not letting her off the hook. Nope.
I'll be here. I'll be in the comments next week with you.
All right. Okay, folks, I'm gonna let you go. So Miss Council can go do what she needs to do. You already know how we are. We thank you for spending your very valuable time here with the Rolynn Reviews YouTube channel. Oh yeah, they're saying come back. They're saying come back. See, when you're good, they want you back. Okay, that's just how that goes.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank
Lynn.
you.
You've been doing this a while. You had a passion to start this review, and I remember when you first started, and I see how it's growing. So thank you so much for what you do.
You. We love you. We wish you much success. And I'll be guys, she's in the comment section every Sunday. So one of the Rolynn Reviews largest supporters. So they're all saying come back. Okay, so I'm just telling you, you have to.
Thank you. I think my children are on. Y'all like and subscribe and share.
Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Council. Mwah. Thank you to all the subscribers. God's will. I'll see you guys here next Sunday. And just be careful, folks. And thank you again, Miss Council, everyone. I'll see you here next Sunday, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you. Love you, Lynn.
Love you too. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.